Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you've been dealing with recent tinnitus symptoms and you're just feeling incredibly overwhelmed, exhausted, or frankly anxious, I want you to know you're in exactly the right place. I'm going to be your guide today, kind of like your supportive coach, and we're going to explore exactly how you can rewire your body's stress response and build some real, lasting emotional resilience. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I really need you to hear this. If you are feeling overwhelmed right now, that makes perfect sense. Honestly, your body is just trying to protect you. Did you know that over 90% of people actually have internal noises in their auditory system? It's true, but for most of us, it just kind of stays in the background. If you're experiencing hypervigilance, it's just your nervous system working overtime. It's mistakenly trying to keep you safe from a perceived threat. There is absolutely nothing fundamentally broken about you. Okay, so let's dive into the science of why this distress is actually happening. You might be experiencing something called central sensitization syndrome. Think of it like this. It's a high-activity state where your central nervous system literally dials up the volume on your nerve signals. And because of this, the brain overreacts to completely harmless internal stimulation. It misinterprets these internal sounds as a massive threat, which then dumps stress hormones into your body and, boom, you're stuck in this biological stress loop. But here is the science of hope. This is neuroplasticity. This is your body and brain's incredible ability to adapt and change itself by building entirely new neural pathways. Listen to me. You have the power to literally do a software update on your brain. You can reset your internal system so that you no longer react to these sounds with fear. How cool is that? So together, we are going to shift away from that old fear loop. You know the one, the hypervigilance, the constant threat detecting, the chronic stress. Instead, we're building a new healing map. And this one is paved with gentle curiosity, safety signals, and a complete neuroplastic software update to bring you genuine internal peace. Right, so how do we actually do this? Well, let's open our toolkits, starting with a really powerful physical intervention. The auricular branch of the vagus nerve runs right through the external ear. When you gently stimulate it, it sends calming signals directly to your brainstem. It basically acts as a physical pathway to manually turn off your body's fight-or-flight panic. It's like a biological off switch for stress. Let's walk through these 4 simple ear release techniques step by step. Feel free to follow along with me to physically soothe your nervous system right now. First, the internal ridge circular release. Just slide your finger under the ridge inside your ear and make slow, gentle circles. Got it? Second, the inner press. Move slightly deeper towards the eardrum and gently circle. Third is a tissue stretch. Place your finger on the skin right behind your ear and gently pull the tissue upward towards your head. And finally, the earlobe pull. Gently grab your earlobe, pull it downward, and slightly back towards your shoulder. You'll want to spend about a minute on each of these. Now remember, you want to approach these subtle physical shifts with a gentle curiosity. Never force. You can do this anywhere, anytime. But please, be incredibly patient with your body. Even just noticing an internal sigh, maybe a slightly deeper breath, or a soft tingle, well, that means you are successfully reclaiming control and safely downshifting your nervous system out of that stress state. Section 1. Sensory grounding for spikes. How to interrupt hypervigilance. This is where somatic tracking comes in. It's a sensory grounding exercise that literally interrupts that hypervigilance. So when a spike hits, first, just pause, slow down. Notice the symptoms with curiosity, almost like you're an outside observer. Accept the sensations as transient. They're really just neurons firing. Reassure yourself that there is no actual threat. And finally, intentionally redirect your attention to something pleasant. By doing this without all that emotional reactivity, you're essentially starving the fear symptom cycle of its fuel. As you practice this somatic tracking, you can use powerful affirmations. Say to yourself, clearly and with calm authority, I am safe and there is no danger from these nerve impulses. I am safe. I am not in danger. Using these statements actually helps shift your mindset out of that deep catastrophic fear and straight into radical self-acceptance. Another brilliant tool in our kit is the black curtain visualization. The second you catch yourself scanning your body for symptoms or falling into one of those anxiety spirals, I want you to imagine pulling a heavy, thick black curtain firmly down over that hyperfixation. You're essentially calling game over on the anxiety and consciously choosing not to engage with the fear cycle anymore. You can also use positive imagery. If the sound is feeling intrusive, try visualizing yourself in a beautiful, peaceful place. Let the tinnitus safely merge into the background environment. Maybe it blends into the sound of ocean waves crashing on a beach or a babbling river. Now, this doesn't just mask the sound, it actively teaches your brain to associate the tinnitus with pleasant, non-threatening experiences. It's a total game changer. All right, Section 2, your daily healing schedule, consistently practicing safety. Here is your supportive coach's game plan to actually put all of this into action without getting overwhelmed. In the morning, start with a mindful awareness check-in, do a brief positive imagery session, and set your intentions for self-compassion. Then, in the evening, help your body wind down with those 4 vagus ear release techniques we talked about, some deep measured breathing, and your affirmations of safety. This intentionally integrates relaxation into the very start and end of every single day. Throughout your day, use these simple daily habit cues to keep your practice consistent. Notice those fear spirals and call game over. And remember, you can totally do to ear releases discreetly in the car or even sitting in a meeting. Use the heavy curtain visualization the second you start checking your symptoms. And anytime you feel tense, just silently say the word relax on a long, slow exhale. You have the power to do these absolutely anywhere. Building these new neural maps is a process. Just like learning to play the piano, replacing fear with self-acceptance requires patient, daily, intentional practice. I mean, you wouldn't expect to play a masterpiece on day 1, right? So please treat yourself with the exact same patience, love, and grace that you would offer a dear friend who's learning a challenging new skill. I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. What if you viewed your symptoms not as a dangerous threat, but simply as a gentle biological reminder to practice calming your nervous system today? You are capable, you have the tools, and you hold the power to take charge of your own healing journey. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.